You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show.
The animal. Tap, 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 to the cage is full. The cage is full. And then you got time.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, AfterBuzzers. Bing is we're doing, and today we're doing Netflix original series Orange is the New Black, Season 1, Episode 11, Tall Men with Feelings. I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey, and joining me today is...
Hi guys, I'm McKay.
What up? I'm Megan Thomas.
Hey guys, Scott Moore here, and we're so glad you're back this week, because we couldn't sing the intro without you. We just could not do it without you, so thank you.
And we still don't know all the words. That's a shame.
But it's just it's more fun, I think, to sing it without the words.
We don't know the words. 11 episodes and we still sing most
like the songs.
of the songs.
That's right.
And then you just start singing the hook or whatever it is. You know the hook. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so this week, there's a lot of juicy stuff. It's getting down to the wire here. We've got like 2 episodes left after this. And a lot of stuff is going on. It's culminating in the mix. It's like this boiling pot of juiciness that's happening at Litchfield right now. Let's start. Where do you guys want to start? Oh my gosh. Well, let's get the darkness out of the way because there's a lot of funny stuff going on this episode. So let's get Trisha's. Let's talk about Trisha and Trisha's demise. Unfortunately, we caught her in the utility closet, slumped over, and then Porn Stash, of course, he makes it look like a suicide, and everybody is really like mourning this situation, and they decide to do a memorial,
Right.
for Trish.
Yeah, I was really sad because it seems like you find out a little bit more about Trisha this episode and how she was really a good, decent person. She just had some internal struggles, and I think I really like how her memorial, even though Piper tried to set it up and no one came. Yeah. I like how they came to her informal memorial that was at her bunk area, and it's like all of the groups brought food, brought some kind. Like it was the repast, the repast in the prison, which is after the funeral. You have everybody goes to someone's house, and so I like how the old women brought the like apples or oranges, and then the Latinas brought, what was it? Like enchiladas or something.
They brought something. Everybody brought something.
Microwave burritos. And then the black girls brought them some chips and some comfort food. And booze.
And then they brought the toilet hooch.
Toilet
hooch. That was, oh my gosh. I was like, really? I was like, yeah, I guess it would make sense. I mean, if I was in that scenario, thank God I'm not, but I would make something out of something.
How do you make toilet
I don't know. I'm almost scared to know. I wanted to look it up.
You just have to ferment something. You have to use the water and then ferment.
But when they said toilet, it just freaked me out. I think I have a fear out of toilets anyway. So I think anytime you mention it,
So do you go in the bushes, Scott? Because you're afraid of toilets.
Not that. Just
I'm going out back.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm afraid the toilet's gonna eat me up. No, but just thinking about that it was like made in the toilet or whatever just kind of freaked me out. So I hope that's not what it is.
Water.
That's what I was hoping because it looked the color, not because it was actually made in one of the toilets. Because that would be really gross.
That is gross.
That's what freaked me out.
Like somebody flushes it back and it's like, no,
we can use that. We can use that.
We're gonna have a party tonight. Why'd you flush that? But to see that everybody was so like emotionally touched by her passing was really a testament to like how close everybody is. More even with all the problems that they have, it's like they don't want to see anybody go, especially like that.
Right.
And especially the fact that she was so young.
Right.
I think it affected some of the older. It's like, man, we could have helped her or whatever. I think that makes everybody feel like a little bit of remorse.
Yeah, like what more could we have done to maybe have prevented this kind of thing? Yeah.
And I think this is also triggers Red being really like angry because she knows that Porn Stash is at the bottom of all this. So now it's like I cut her off, and she cut her off. I believe she believes she did it for her own good.
For her best interest,
right? For her best interest. But now it's like I cut her off, and now she's dead.
Right.
So now she feels some kind of responsibility to a certain degree, even though she wasn't responsible for her being an addict or anything like that. Like she's the mom. So obviously she feels she's going to feel some kind of responsibility. I think anybody would to a certain degree. It's like, what could I have done to help her not be in this situation? Right. It just really sucks. And then you've got Porn Stash on, we're going to get to Pennsatucky since we talked about her last episode. But Porn Stash, who is, like I said, he's menacing, and something has to be done about this guy.
I think it will be sooner or later.
Sooner, hopefully, than later.
He makes it harder on everyone else, especially Red, the way he comes in and he's, trying to go through her stuff, and she's like, no, don't worry, we got this. Just his attitude and his demeanor he's such a douche. I don't know any other word to describe him.
He's a Porn Stash.
He's just really bad.
That's when I call him a porn. He's a Porn Stash.
He's a Porn Stash. He's just he's really bad,
But I think also this episode we see he has a little bit of a heart.
We do.
I mean, as much as you don't want to see it, we see that old Porny has a heart.
He does.
Okay, well let me say this about old Porny, because I feel like everybody has feelings. I mean, that's just the way God made us. Everybody has feelings, whether or not they express them or not, or how they express them is another scenario, another story. But everybody has feelings. Right. So I just feel like there's nothing redemptive about Porn Stash based on what he's doing. Like, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't justify.
No, I'm not saying you're justifying.
But to add that extra layer of everybody has feelings, everybody has life experiences that lead them to have their feelings in certain ways and make certain decisions. So it would be interesting to know more of his background as to why this abuse of power and where, his feelings and the decisions he makes come from too. Because like you said, everybody does, but everyone has those life experiences as well.
It's like
that shape everybody.
Yeah, I want to see that next season.
Yeah,
a backstory on him.
Well, because they kind of talk about it a little bit more too. Because when he talks about his feelings, he kind of mentions how nobody asks about his life outside of prison, and that the girls don't ask and everything. Which
is, I mean, you can kind of understand. Yeah. He said, we know every detail about these women's lives. No one even asks me how my day is.
Or what I do outside or whatever.
Granted, they're not supposed to.
No.
But, you can get how you spend a significant amount of time with this group of people in an intimate type of setting. They all live here. They all live and work in the same space. And so you can get why he feels a little, left out. Especially, I guess, that shadows onto his home life. He obviously doesn't have anybody else on the outside that cares enough to ask him these things, or else he wouldn't even think about it.
He wouldn't even think about it. You're right. But also, I get why they wouldn't ask either, because that's their whole world. Right. They're not thinking about outside. They never see him outside anywhere. So that's all they know him from. So they wouldn't be necessarily on that wavelength of like, oh, what do you do afterwards? What are your hobbies? Like, that's not going to come up when that's your whole world.
But it's the way he carries himself. Right. He doesn't let them get close to him, and they already know how he is. He uses and abuses his power and authority, so he doesn't leave any room for people to be nice to him and to ask him questions and really be genuine with him. So he set himself up.
Well, we also got to see him interact outside. In the bar.
It's funny.
No game.
With Bennett and the two girls. Yeah. Right? So this guy is like a social malfunctioning. He's not a fully functioning individual. Something is missing, not even loose. It's missing. That piece is not loose. It's missing. Like, he didn't get the social...
He didn't get the
memo.
Training. He didn't. I mean, and it shows with these two women. Although these women, I will say this in his defense, you just don't say, the first thing you say to a man is buy me a drink.
Yeah, exactly. I do agree too. Okay. I was like, don't be walking up and just making that kind of comment.
Buy me a drink. Like, at least say hello.
It's more common than you think.
I'm sure it is, but at least say hello.
Yeah.
Nice man with a porn stash.
Yeah, we like your mustache.
We like your mustache.
I'm sure they just wanted to cut to, the point, and he's like desperate just sitting there, so it's like, just buy me a drink.
Yes, and so of course his reaction is very typical of, I think, how he would react to the women at the prison,
right?
Not to women who are free in a bar, you know?
Right. Yeah, that was really funny. But he still, I think, could have handled it a little bit better.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
Yeah. But again,
needless to say,
he was
Plus,
drunk.
I think he needed to show off his, you know, in front of Bennett and who he was, and he still had authority outside of outside of work, and he can let these two women degrade him in front of his new coworker, who he's the one showing him the ropes and showing how he needs to be and everything in the system. So I think it had to do with Bennett as well.
What do you think Bennett thinks of Mendez?
He's just that guy at work that you just have to tolerate because he's at work. Yeah. But I think in a way he kind of feels sorry for him because the guy just is reeking of, I don't have anyone who loves me.
Yeah, desperation kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he feels bad for him in a way.
Right.
So that's why he indulges and he goes to the bar with him. Or he listens to him talk about his stupid rants and stuff. So I think he does feel sorry for him.
He does, and I think he's also lonely too. I mean, just so we were talking about his whole comment about, I was just going to watch SportsCenter and hit the hay kind of thing. So I think he's lonely too. Like he doesn't have much of a social life outside of this job either, as it seems to be that a lot of these people have the same kind of situations there.
He seems to be a little more content in his loneliness, though.
Yeah. Like some people do like to, are okay with being alone.
Do his own thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when you're adjusted, when you're kind of pretty good put together on the inside, then your loneliness doesn't bother you as much.
It's not, you like to be alone. It's not a scary thing. Right. And you're comfortable with yourself. Yeah.
It might have something to do with his leg as well. His injury that he doesn't want to get too close because if he goes out and meets a girl, then that's kind of like, embarrassing. Maybe he's self-conscious about it, obviously. So,
but it doesn't seem like he has a lot of guy friends, though, either, because it wasn't like, I'll just go out or I'll bring my friends and we'll all go to the bar together, or somebody to kind of deflect off just being with porn stash. So I take it that he's lonely, too.
Well, it might be that he moved away from where he was.
True.
Maybe due to his leg and his, being back from war and all this. He was in the hospital, so it might be that he just moved out there.
That's true, too, yeah.
I mean, watching how the situation is going to play out with him and Daya is going to be very interesting, simply because she obviously wasn't preggers when she went in.
Right.
So it's like, what is she going to concoct? What story? How is this going to work out? How were her and her mom gonna figure this thing out?
They try to with he brings along the idea of going on a furlough, which no one has gone on in a billion years. Right. So at least he's trying to come up with stuff. But unfortunately we see that it's not gonna work. But we see that now Red has gotten in on this and Mom, now it's blown up
the
to
whole
the point.
Team.
Right, the whole team is now like, okay, we've got a solution. Right. We're going to frame Porn Stash. And I don't know, do you guys think that Daya should have talked to Bennett about this idea of how she has to have sex with Porn Stash in order to frame him?
Yes.
You think she should have?
It's very important when you're in a relationship with somebody to divulge all information.
Yes.
And that way you can keep everything above board. They know it's like they're in on it. If he finds out later, which he would, of course, it's gonna be like, you did this behind my back, really? Right. Blah blah blah. Then he wouldn't know what to think. He doesn't know what her motivations or intentions are, and he's gonna doubt the viability of their relationship, if the feelings are genuine, or how is she really? What kind of person is she? She's already in jail.
Right.
Yeah. So he's. She can't really do anything to have him question her character, especially as far as their relationship is concerned, because she has too many knocks against her already.
Right. I think she should have told him.
I do too.
So definitely think so.
Yeah, since he was already in on the planning with the whole furlough thing, and like you said, being honest, is the best thing, especially in this type of situation. That's such a then thing.
Right, and then especially Caesar visiting him last week, it was kind of like, you better do something about this. So he kind of has to step up to the plate because now there's somebody who can touch him on the outside. I mean, the guy shows up in his apartment, and it's like some mafia gangster type of dude, and it's like, okay.
By the way, Bennett's got a banging body. I'm sorry. I was looking at. Did you look at
He does. He's in great shape. I mean, there was like a thing I think I saw in one of those, BuzzFeeds or whatever, and they're like, that's what he did as like a hobby, was like train for bodybuilding or something. So
well, he's doing.
You're like he's
That's mighty good, honey. You're looking good. but I mean, I don't know. I don't think this. Of course, we don't know what happens past episode 11, but I don't think. I don't know. I don't think it works. I don't think it's to frame porn.
No, I don't think it's going to work either. And I kind of mentioned that last episode as like a, I'm guessing like he's still going to get in trouble. But I don't understand, why does he? And this is a dumb question on my part, but why is he going to be a sex offender and be arrested for having sex with her? Because if she's over 18, is it just because of the whole guard?
It's a law, and he's
the law because he's the guard, and so it's
I think that's a lie.
Because they can infer the inferences that like using abuse of power.
Right. Okay. Because that's what I was like, sex offender seemed weird because it's not like she was under 18 or.
Right.
Whatever.
I thought about that
it
at
seemed
first
kind of harsh, but then I guess you're right, like the whole guard and the power and
I think if Bennett knew about it, he would have helped out more with the situation by helping them frame him and positioning porn stash and just.
You think he would have helped?
In the positioning?
Not the actual room positioning, but just, knowing where he is and, I don't know, just maybe causing attention on the situation, bringing people in, hire, Healy or whoever it may be. I think he would have helped out because he's the one coming up with ideas.
When he's got to protect himself.
He has to think about himself as well. He wants porn stash to go down versus him.
Yeah, he's got to look after himself here.
I don't know though. I don't know if because I really do think he loves Daya, and I don't think he wants.
I do too.
I don't think he wants porn stash.
But he doesn't want to go to jail
either. So I know it's a tough line because would he have helped out? But again, like I mentioned last episode too, I think he genuinely does care for her, and
I think he likes her.
And
that's my opinion. I think he just likes her a lot, and the booty is convenient. That's my opinion. The booty is convenient, and he likes her a lot. Perhaps. He thinks she's cool because she draws him little pictures, and he's like, this girl likes me. So he's crushing on the fact that he has a woman that likes him, and the booty is convenient.
It's the
so he likes her.
Type of
in love, I think she loves him. I don't think he loves her. Because when he found out about the pregnancy, I think...
You said he doesn't love her?
No, I don't believe he loves her. I believe she loves him.
Well, that's why I keep using the word cares for her, because I'm not sure he's at that level yet either.
He's not at that level yet either.
I thought it was the opposite way around. I thought he was more in love with her than she is in love with him.
Oh, no. Definitely not. You ain't going out like that, Bennett. I got you. No, he doesn't. He's not in love with her. Definitely not.
I don't know. I think he loves her.
I don't think
Maybe
so.
Maybe he's not in love with her. Maybe that's it.
But there's definitely, but it is genuine though. I do think there's genuine feelings, and he does care for her, and she does him, and that's definitely there.
Yeah, and then she's the mother of his child, his first and only child.
This is an inconvenience. I think he was more scared, like, oh, damn, great, she's pregnant, blah blah blah. I think for me,
but honestly, how many guys who are not married and are just having sex with a woman, how many of them have that same thought, but maybe they really do love the girl, but they're just like, okay, I'm scared.
They love the sex. If you love the woman, you're going to step up and be like, okay, baby, we're going to figure this out.
Okay, but it might flash across a man's mind who might just be like, oh, what? And then it sinks in, he's like, okay, I'm good, because I love her. Sometimes it takes guys a second. Thaddeus.
I don't think so.
I agree with you. I do, if it's the right situation, yes.
Okay.
But I'm not sure in this whole situation.
Right.
Because there's another layer here, because he does have to protect himself. I mean, it's there's so many other layers here that are just the normal, which we talked about in the last episode again, like, would they have ever met if it wasn't for, would he have been attracted to her in a bar if they ran into each other? It's that whole thing, like, because they're in such a unique situation, and they have another thing here that it could lead to.
Yes, well, you let us know what you think. Hit us up on iTunes. You can subscribe to Orange is the New Black After Show on AfterBuzz TV. It's really simple. Just search for us, and we'll pop up, click subscribe, and then you'll always get our podcast every week.
Yep.
Give us 5 stars.
Make sure you give us 5 stars, rate, comment, and speaking of comments, I want to shout out Pete Skeet on iTunes. He left us that's his name, yeah. He left us a message, and he said that I am his dandelion. Aww. No, but I don't know.
Wait, does that mean that could be crazy?
That's what I'm saying. It could be good, or it could be very scary.
I don't know. And your name is Pete Skeet. I'm a little scared. Should I be scared?
Pete Skeet.
Or should I be okay with that? But shout out to you, Pete.
Pete Skeet. You guys can also call us at 424-256-1729, 424-256-1729. Put in your 2 cents, your 5 cents, your 50 cents, $1, whatever you guys feel. You guys want to correct us on anything or just add to the conversation. We're totally open to you guys doing that. We'd love for you guys to call in. Pete Skeet, you too. You can call in too and talk to Dandelion.
That's
here.
right.
Oh, no.
She'd love to talk to you. Operators are standing by.
I'm scared now.
Dandelion Scoop, just go ahead. And,
I don't know what to think. I don't know.
You know what you think.
I know, speaking of crazy eyes, I really liked her this episode because I feel like we got to see her in a little normal.
The real side of her.
Yeah,
or
she's kind of normal. She's a little crazy.
or maybe the heavily medicated side of her. I don't know. Like maybe she's taking her meds and now
like,
she's.
Watch me.
Right. Yeah. And she said, well, she says, she has that heart-to-heart with Piper after Piper falls on the ground and she helps her up.
Which was hilarious when she said, "Oh yeah, there's a sign that says caution, wet floor." She does that crazy over the top, crazy eyes thing that only she can do.
And she's actually kind of endearing. Like she's kind of pleasant. I like her. She's funny. And she says that she talks about the whole psych ward and how that's worse than being in the shoe.
Yeah, it was bold, cold, and old, and she wouldn't want to have a gremlin there, you know.
But she seems like she has no problem going in and out.
But she said she had that agreement, with her. So now I want to know more about her story, like her family, how she says that her parents and the warden, and they all know. She just goes like this. That means I'm good to go. I'm not going to act crazy. We're good. And they let her back up out of psych.
So is that where the crazy eyes came from?
Who has that type of power?
Right. That's what I'm like. Who are your parents? Exactly. We saw them before, but who are they?
Yeah, exactly. What is their background, and what was her background growing up?
Maybe she's related to the warden.
Who knows?
The warden that we'll never see. That's still my
maybe we'll see him season 2.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe
Part
they're
of
trying
the
to
fun
find
is
some really good.
Not seeing him though. That's part of the fun.
Right.
That's like that character that you just.
It's the ominous.
Yes.
You don't know who it is. I feel like they're maybe waiting to build him up a little bit more. And then like mid-season, second season, they're gonna like bring out this.
No, I think they'll wait till the series finale or something.
Right.
The very last episode of the entire series. Then they bring him out, and it's some.
This is gonna be so funny to see who he is.
That would be
the
funny.
Point.
Right.
We're not supposed to know.
But Crazy Eyes though, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then she talks about. Hold on, what did she say? I guess that's why Piper feels bad about sending Pennsatucky to the psych.
Okay, this is how I feel about that. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Pennsatucky actually is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Why?
She is.
She's a nutcase.
Why? Just because she just is an extreme Jesus lover?
She's extreme. That's the point.
No,
You
but
said
her whole
that- you
thing,
said
like she
the
can
word.
heal people.
But she did.
And
She did.
Did she?
She did. She healed track girl's leg.
Yeah.
That was no.
Watson,
that was
she healed Watson's knee.
That was a setup.
No.
By Alex and Piper. Or no, Alex and That was all a joke. They were messing with her head to set her up to send her to send her to
That's what
side.
I'm saying.
Set her
No,
up.
hold on a second, Marissa.
Yes.
Was that a setup?
I don't think that was a setup.
Oh, come on. It was a setup.
was a setup.
It was a setup.
It was a
But
setup.
I do agree that Pennsatucky is crazy.
Okay.
Booze was a setup.
No, this was
Yes.
a setup.
No.
Alex,
I thought it was a setup too.
Alex
It's
set
totally
her
set
up, and don't you remember after the whole thing, they walked by with Alex, and they were smiling and looking.
But I don't think that was a setup. I think she
It was all part of it.
Really?
It was a setup to get her to make her look like she was crazy. Now she's running around thinking because she's so extreme. Now she thinks she can heal people.
Yeah,
they're like she's crazy.
10 fingers that have to heal the whole world.
Right.
Exactly. So they could end up sending her to psych and get her out of there. It was a get back for her locking Alex in the dryer and all the other shenanigans she's been doing.
It was a whole way
So
of getting
she's
her out of the way.
already practicing and healing people, so...
But she's gone to a whole new level.
Yeah,
of it.
she's taking it. She's taking it to
the
walking
extreme.
on water extreme.
But
like,
I mean, I'm saying, do you think she deserves to be in the psych ward for that?
yes.
Why? You think she really deserves?
She's
not-
crazy.
She's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, she is.
How's she hurting people?
Hold on.
She locked Alex in the dryer.
Well, I was gonna say her false sense of thinking people are going to be healed by her
Okay,
craziness.
so she's been having little pranks. I agree with you. That's wrong. It's not okay to lock people in dryer, break their glasses, all that stuff. That's not good. But I'm saying, usually when they put people in a psych ward, it's because they're harming themselves
Or someone else.
or
Yeah, it's-
are literally
I get what you're
harming
saying.
someone else.
She
so
harmed
to
her.
have to have her, strapped down.
And in a cage. She was in a cage like an animal. Did they actually do that? Like, I didn't think they put them in a cage like that. I thought you could put them in a room.
Right.
But it's like going to the zoo.
But yeah, that's what I thought. Like, that's like really degrading. I thought, like, if that really happens where people are in a psych ward in a cage,
right?
That's extreme
but
because that's awful.
I will say, when she was in the cage, she was acting like she belonged in there.
No, but it was.
She did.
Thank you.
Okay,
but she should have been in a room, like in a shoe, like put yourself in a room that's safe from anything. Like what happened with that Castro guy in Ohio, with the no bed sheets, anything in there, just put her in a room. But imagine her being in a cage. I did think that was a little extreme. So I'm very curious if that actually happens in real life.
Oh, if it happens in real life, that sucks. But I think it was fitting for Pennsatucky. I thought it fit for her.
I admit I liked seeing her in there because
I loved it.
I like how she reacted.
And the more questions that the doctor asked, the more crazy she seemed. Like she belonged in there.
Yeah, that's
so
what
it was
I'm saying.
like, it makes sense.
Right.
And they gave her the meds and they said, well, you wouldn't need these meds if we didn't think that you needed them.
I know she said with the other lady that gave her the meds was like, stop. Only crazy people say that, try to prove that crazy.
Exactly.
Keep trying to say, I'm not crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy.
See?
I mean, that's
crazy.
Not true. What if somebody kept going crazy? What are you going to say? I'm not crazy. Right?
No, let's say, give me the meds if they're
He said, give me the meds. Okay, where the pills at? Scott's like, where's the pills at?
Yeah.
All right.
Where's my prescription?
No. But
I don't think she's crazy for being, overly
zealous of her
religion, but, attacking people and trying to heal them out of their wish. That's crazy.
What I'm saying, and the fact that she now thinks that she can actually heal people is sort of a little bit like that.
Okay.
What is that thing where people, not narcissistic, but the one where they feel like they
have a guy complex?
Yeah, exactly. It's like that thing.
But that's what I'm saying.
Literally.
Does she deserve to be strapped down? That's what I'm saying.
The whole thing was the visitors when she attacked the kid in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that was what brought her
to shoe. I mean, how did she end up on the floors from the wheelchair?
Agreed.
That's what it was. I mean, that's what it was, the whole wheelchair thing with the girl.
The girl's telling her to get off of her, and she's still trying to heal her.
Right. That's crazy.
Okay, I guess.
Crazy.
I just don't know if she deserves that. Almost like Shoe would have been maybe a better fit for her because at least she was in a confined space and could maybe calm down a little bit more.
Well, here's the thing. Shoe turns sane people insane.
True.
Okay? So you don't want to take somebody who's already walking that very, very, very fine line and put them in Shoe. That's definitely not going to
I mean, you do bring a good point because it was the whole thing that the UN had said, like, that people should only be in solitary confinement for 15 days at the max.
Right.
Which I thought was very interesting because it kind of went back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago about, how it can change people so fast. So I guess, I don't know, but it's hard because then you have crazy guys saying psych is worse.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
And I'm thinking if you're in a cage or whatever, that's worse than being in
Well, you
Shoe.
can control yourself, at least in the Shoe, but in here people are giving you medicine and
controlling you.
Yeah.
What do you do, like go to the bathroom in the cage?
I mean, and you're tied up, I don't know.
Well, control, for one thing, men aren't made to be controlled by other men, or people are not made to be controlled by other people.
Yeah.
And so that would, I guess, yield some kind of craziness within itself, just being controlled. That's why I guess what makes the environment somewhat unstable being in prison to begin with.
Right.
But now you have this extreme control where someone's isolating you.
In a cage.
That's a whole nother level. And then they're force feeding you drugs. You can move like 2 feet. Like the cage is probably 3 feet. Like, you can barely move around, so now you're stir crazy because I can't even walk, down the hall, or I don't think they even give them,
probably not
outside time or recreational time or anything like that. Like, she's in there, stuck.
Which is why I'm glad that, Piper I think she did the right thing by going to tell Caputo that it was her fault, that Pennsatucky was in there. And that they, what they did to Pennsatucky. So I'm
on the border. I'm on the fence.
I just believe in being responsible for your own actions, and so she took the responsible route. Now, is it probably going to bite her in the butt? Maybe a little bit, but that's fine because I think in the long run, at least she won't have on her conscience, I am the reason why somebody is in this extreme form of control in a cage somewhere.
No, see,
I think she did it for the wrong reasons. I think she did it to prove Alex wrong. because she started blaming Alex for, for Pennsatucky being in psych, and she brought up the whole, how she stirred up the situation, and Alex is like, don't blame it on me. You're the one that, got her to do that act and reported her. So I think she proved a point to Alex by going to Caputo that she's taking a stance for something that she's done for once.
Yeah, but I don't think she would have done that if she hadn't had the conversation with Crazy Eyes about.
No, definitely. I think that
she was
that
feeling
had to,
that, yeah, and she felt guilty.
That had to do with it, but Alex played a role in it as well.
I feel Pennsatucky brought it on herself.
I mean,
because you can't mess with people,
right?
And think, especially
that's okay,
especially in prison,
right?
And think that there's not going to be some kind of backlash or.
Hold on a second. She told on Piper as well to Healy. Remember?
Oh yeah, about the lesbian,
right? Lesbian, and
that's what I'm saying. Like she's been consistently doing things that it was gonna come back on her. It was gonna come back on her, and it did. And I wouldn't have felt anything about it. I'd have been like, look, it's okay. You believe what you want to believe, but don't try to impose what you believe on me and do little things to upend my space in my bubble. Because you believe what you believe. They're not doing anything. They weren't doing anything to her. They weren't imposing anything on her. They weren't harming her. Agreed. They weren't doing anything to her. But yet she was consistently imposing her energy and beliefs on them. Well, and that gets to be like, quit it. Like, get away from us. Leave us alone. Like, you stay over there. And it's okay for you to do what you want to do, believe what you want to believe. Just keep it over there. Right. She's locking people in dryers, breaking glasses, telling on people to get them locked up in a shoe. I'm like, yeah, she goes to the psych ward. And I would have been like, I would have gone on my merry way and been fine. I would have been fine. I would have been like, well, she's crazy.
Well, I think I'm glad at least she got to serve some time in psych, and that helped her to hopefully get herself together.
Well, I would have left it to the doctors. I'm like, well, there's professional doctors down there, and if they feel like she is good enough to come out of the psych ward, I'm not a doctor. I'm not fit enough. If she's not crazy, then they'll go ahead and let her out.
Well, note to self: if you're on an island and you need somebody to help you, don't pick Thaddeus because he's gonna leave you.
Leave your ass behind.
Right.
You should have gotten that FedEx plane to begin with. I'll help you. I'll help you out. Don't worry.
He's like, I'll throw you a bone.
I'll throw you a bone.
I'm sure you will. Sure you will.
So yeah, I think Pennsatucky belongs in there, and I'm gonna leave Pennsatucky alone because we see her get out. She goes and
hugs her followers.
Piper. Yeah, right. They're like, it's like martyrdom almost with her. These 5 little followers that she has. It's like, oh my gosh, they're so annoying. Little minions.
Right.
Everyone has minions.
Not everybody.
I don't know.
Red has minions.
Well, Red does, but I don't say everyone in there does.
Piper doesn't have any minions.
No. Well, she did. Crazy Eyes.
Crazy Eyes was a stalker.
Yeah, Crazy Eyes got over her. Yes, it's different, but she got over her.
But have you noticed how Crazy Eyes said in this episode, she says, well, what? And I don't understand why people call me Crazy Eyes. Yeah. Remember in the first or second episode when she was introduced, like she was crazy. Her eyes were just like.
Right.
But now she doesn't really do that much.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like she seems more balanced in this episode, and that's what I was wondering. Is this that was where the Crazy Eyes came from?
Well, I think it's I think
they knew.
No, but at the beginning, remember she used to look like.
She used to look. She did.
I think this is part of her arc. I think part of Crazy Eyes' arc, Suzanne. Now we introduced her being Suzanne. Yeah. Right. So now that kind of personalizes her or humanizes her more. They're building her character, like Emma was about to say. Go ahead, Emma.
No, go ahead.
No, you first. No, you.
No, I'm saying they're.
Go ahead.
They're building her character because we obviously don't know her background and we don't know where she comes from and why she has or how she has these relationships.
Right.
Well, her parents do. So I'm sure they're building her story because we only know her as Crazy Eyes. So Suzanne, the normal, real side of her has to come out somehow.
Well, yeah, it's one of the classic case of everything isn't what it appears, or everything isn't. There's more to what meets the eye. No pun intended.
Oh God.
No, but very good pun though. Right. But I'm very I'd love to know more of what why did she seem more balanced this episode and all the other ones when we saw her she wasn't, and seemed a little did seem really out there. So I'd love to know more.
She's working. She said she's working on herself.
But is she mental? Like, does she have to take medication, or is she?
Oh, yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what is that? What is that background, and what has caused that in the past? Or
she is on she is on medication. Remember, because she has mad control of her epiglottis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Taking it, when everybody was in line to get medication.
Was she not taking it before, and now she's or that's I'd love to learn more about her too, and what made her seem, because she seemed very bounced in this episode. And
I feel like it hurt her feelings when Larry had his interview and the stuff that he said about her.
Larry. Oh, I'm so disappointed in Larry, but it's consistent
why
with
are you disappointed with him? I'm not disappointed with him.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Was it just because you expected him to be that way?
No, I mean, because I feel like he was telling his story. Yeah. And the thing about it is, if Piper did not want that stuff, if she didn't want him to say anything, she should have told him, like, don't ever say anything about this stuff to anybody.
But you would think that's logical and normal for someone not to mention their story.
She's locked up.
Jail.
She's locked up, and he's telling stories about people that. And you don't know they're listening to this.
Okay, well, that part maybe.
Now you could be putting her in danger.
Okay, but he did say some nice stuff about people. He did say
it was bad.
No, he didn't say mostly bad stuff, because I was listening. I was like, okay, is this gonna be all? He said bad things about like 3 people, but the rest of them, it wasn't that bad.
Well, he did mention about a generic, like, some people are.
Like he said, it was talked about Red. He said, she's learned how to make it work for her while she's in there, since this is her world, and that was positive. It wasn't negative. It wasn't.
He had a generic one where I thought too, where he didn't mention anyone by name, but had said, well, I mean, not that he really did in that, but just said that some people are, better and smarter and good people, and had some bad circumstances.
You got to think about how the outside world's going to look at this. You're talking about women that are imprisoned, and a lot of the thought could be they're in there for a reason. They're criminals. There's no really redemptive qualities. Those there's a lot of
the stereotypical things that you're gonna think about,
things that people think, and when you start mentioning the bad things about them, and you say 1 or 2 redeeming things, they're the ones that are actually in there, so they're going to be more sensitive to what's being said about them. Right. They're going to hear the negative. They're going to feel the negative about themselves. They're not going to think about the positive things, because the positive things don't have them in a positive situation. What I'm saying, during time.
But at least he did say that, he even made them mention that, these women aren't all bad. He did try to balance it out, and he didn't name anybody. That's not slander, libel, whatever. It's like he didn't put any names.
They know who everybody is inside. That was the problem.
And that is a problem for Piper, and that's something I do think he should have thought about, because this woman that he supposedly loves is in this place, in a confined place with these women, and he's putting their business out there.
Right.
So that is something I think he should have thought about. But I'm not mad at him at expressing his feeling, because you have to understand, he's outside, and this woman that he loves, he put a ring on her finger knowing she was going to prison, and she is out there cheating on him. He has every right to cheat in a free world, but he doesn't. But this woman,
not yet, at least.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Not yet. But he doesn't cheat on her. He's got a lot more
exactly.
Cheating with
From episode 1, which I said that was a foreshadowing that their relationship's splitting. I agree with you that, and I think he had to say something too. He's going on this radio show. He's having to talk about what's going on. Obviously, he's going to talk about what they talked about.
Right.
Not saying it was right or wrong or whatever, but what else is he going to say to at least make it interesting to talk honestly what's going on? Was he going to make up stuff the whole way? I mean, there's no fault for me of him having to talk on the things that he did discuss, and like you said, he didn't say anyone's names in particular, but it was dumb, because obviously the girls are going to be listening if they had an opportunity to, and they're going to know who's who and who he's talking about, and it's going to cause issues for Piper.
I think he needs a career change.
Well, yeah.
If you're a writer, I think it's easier for you to come up with subject matter to write about, if that's what your true gift or talent or passion is. Even if it's a passion, even if you're not gifted at it or super talented at it, if you're passionate about it, you'll come up with stuff. There's a million things in the world to write about, and he can't come up with anything. He talks to Cal. He comes up with edging. Yeah. And that turns into a life about his girlfriend and having a relationship, his fiance, that's locked up.
That's the best stuff to write about, is the truest stuff. That's why he's getting this interview.
And it's unique.
Right. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, the best stuff to write about is stuff that happens.
Is it wise? My whole
No.
point is not.
It depends.
It's not about it being a good story. It's obviously a good story.
Yeah,
but
it's his
should
golden
he do
ticket
it?
in to have something to talk about.
Right.
It's definitely the golden ticket.
But some people, that's therapeutic for them, and I think for him, this in essence was therapeutic for him. The stuff he said was thought out. Did he say some stuff about people that would have hurt their feelings, like crazy eyes? Yes. But did he also say some good stuff about there's a girl in there who's trying to rehab her knee, but there's no track, so because the system needs more money? Like, that's positive. I don't agree. I don't think that was wrong.
I think he just did it to make his career. I feel like
Sure, there's definitely that's what I'm saying. It's his golden ticket. Like,
But
he's
the
going
thing
to
is
jump on
that
that to move ahead in his career.
If
Obviously,
he really cared about Piper, she called him. He could have picked up her phone and told her that,
he
hey,
should have.
I'm
These are
doing
the
this
things I'm gonna
interview.
talk
You're
about.
ignoring her, and the first thing she hears on the radio, listening in with the rest of the inmates, because she finds out Larry's going to be on radio, so make sure everyone tune in, listen to what he has to say. And it says hurtful things about people that she said out of, she was confiding in him. It was her first week or two. She's in jail. She's adjusting. It's like taking, your secrets and just letting the whole world know about it. It doesn't matter if it had no names on. It's the fact that he betrayed her trust.
But I mean, I think for him, he's like, she already betrayed mine. So for him, this is a backlash. Is it smart? No. I'm not saying that it's a smart thing.
And he does say that too.
But he says
the phone call later.
Exactly. And he started the whole thing, which is why he's beating himself up. If he would not have lied to her from the beginning by saying Alex didn't name her, this might have happened, but it would have taken a while longer.
And then he waits to tell her later. Yeah, by the way.
It's like stupid, immature. Like,
Alex named you.
You're being a girl right now because you're upset about
That was a
the
nice
whole
way of calling him
situation.
a...
No, it was like...
He is, though. I mean, you're right. And he is a girl. I feel like,
Yeah, that's not how you do it.
Like, come on, be a man, dude. Grow a couple. And
so that was like his
accordingly.
revenge by going on air and talking about her when you could have picked up the phone and just talked to her like, hey, you know, I got a call.
Agreed.
This is what happened. You know,
He
explain
could have talked
to me,
about her before. Way before then, and said he'd already talked to Healy and he knew what was going on. And
But I think he was really, sometimes when people are hurt, they don't know how to react. And I think his reaction was, I just can't talk to you. Even, you see him with Cal for a minute, you see that he's just like, when they're hunting or for hitting cans with guns or whatever they're doing, he says to him, he's just like, yeah, I don't want to talk to her right now. I can't talk to her. Because he just has to deal with it. And for him, this is how he deals with it. So is it right? No, it's not. But that's how he deals with it. And that's how he's getting through the fact that the woman that he loves and put a ring on her finger and said, this is my one and only. That's how he reacts to being cheated on and being cheated on by a woman who is comforting her in a way that he can never comfort her because he's not in prison and he's not a woman.
And they don't have the same situation either. Like that, obviously, Alex and they have that history together, and that why they're there. As we saw a flashback in this episode too, with the whole, I guessing they were in Paris or somewhere, and then she asks her to go to Istanbul, and so you get a little bit of that backstory and how that kind of the relationship ended and everything. But yeah, there is definitely something there that can never be replaced, regardless if it was a woman or man or whatever, just because they had that intensity, and that's the whole reason why they're both there in prison now, is because of that relationship.
The fact that he wants to take some space is really funny.
You take some space.
He's already...
Yeah,
exactly.
Space. It's like,
you already have space. I know. It was kind of ironic. It's like, okay,
you have space, and I think she should
give all the space you need.
Space.
No, I get it.
Different.
Like not communicating
not physical space.
and but I know what you mean, like space, but no communication. You don't want to have that.
It's just ironic that he wants space. I mean, when I'm saying that he wants space, I think it's funny, not because obviously the physical aspect.
Yeah.
The emotional aspect is, it's like she should be dumping you. That's how I feel. I feel like he's just like,
she's got to hold on to that. That's her hope for the outside.
No, she just needs Polly. She just needs her best friend. That's what she needs, because she's the voice of reason for her. She's the conscious.
Ain't got time for that, honey. Probably got a baby and a husband. She does not have time.
And working on the company and
right.
But if she kind of adopts some of the maturity that Polly is, I think it would be better for her. She'd look at things and have a more practical approach to scenarios and situations in her life, and she doesn't really take some of those same approaches that Polly has.
Well, it ain't worked thus far.
It's kind of like a security blanket for her. Anyway, enough about Larry and Piper. Let's talk about Miss Claudette.
Yeah, she has her Baptiste finally comes. I mean, he comes and he asks her, "Where do you want to go?" I think that was really nice.
It was sweet.
I hope she gets out.
I do too.
Because that would be really messed up if she doesn't. And he didn't put all these, false things in her head.
Right. Did Sophia do her hair? Sophia did her hair and all that and got her ready.
Trimmed her, got her ready to go.
Got her ready to go. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. I really can't believe, before we go to news and gossip, I really can't believe that two things. I can't believe that that Daya, going back to Daya, I can't believe Daya had sex with Pornstache knowing he was going to wear a condom. It was like, well...
What could she do at that point?
I know.
That's not going to work. You can do anything. You could be like, well, let's... Something.
What do you say? What could you say?
And then secondly, I can't believe Bennett was hitting it raw dog. I can't believe that either.
Yeah.
I mean,
to get her pregnant to begin with, knowing the situation that they're in, that makes Bennett look stupid.
Yeah.
Very true.
And it makes Pornstache look a little more savvy than what you might think. Right? That he's Pornstache, but yet he's
the smart one.
Right.
But I also think because Bennett's never done this. Bennett's never had sex with anybody in prison. But I think Pornstache has done it plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why
obviously.
he's like, oh, yeah, I'm not trying to get none of these chicks pregnant or no STDs because I've had sex with all of them.
But plus, he's not, I don't think Bennett is expecting to have sex when he goes to work. So he doesn't need to take a condom with him.
Yeah, but obviously he's been doing it for some time now. He's been having sex with her more. He's had sex with her more than once. So now you get to the point where you might want to wear a condom.
Maybe he has. Maybe it was just one time.
Maybe it was one time, or maybe it broke. We don't know. We don't know the details.
Whatever. Let's go to news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Do you have any news and gossip? Make a scoop.
No, we don't have any news.
I love that we play it. Like, no news.
We depend on her last
no
episode.
Gossip.
She wasn't here, and now she's here. So
no, but it was funny when we did it last time, and Em was like, no news. And then I'm like, no gossip. And I love the gossip.
Right.
Not this week.
There's no news or gossip.
Though.
Okay, let's go to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so for episode 12, week 12 of Orange is the New Black,
the penultimate episode.
What is your prediction, Miss Scoop? Go.
I don't think Miss Claudette's gonna get out.
That was gonna be mine too.
Really?
Stole it.
I don't.
No, I don't either, because I think it was kind of too good to be true, and
yeah, she's like enraged because of the stuff that Piper said about her to Larry, and that he revealed on his interview. I think she's gonna go do something, or somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, Haiti lady, you are crazy, and you're scary, and you're gonna stay here longer."
Or she's just not gonna get out. Like something's gonna come up either with her immigration or something that's gonna prevent her from coming out, and now she's gonna be stuck there as her bunkmate there with Piper and having to deal with their relationship now, feeling very hurt by her.
That would be really sad.
And the revelations that she talked about.
Because I feel like there's displaced hope with her.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I thought too. There's no way that she's going to get out. That it's not going to be that easy.
Right, and I do think that Pornstache I think he's going to have unprotected relations with Daya.
That's a good one. But I still think Bennett's going to take the fall, which I talked about the last episode as my prediction that it's not going to end well for him.
Daya's got that good stuff.
Yeah.
She got Caesar.
That's right.
She's got Bennett and she's got Pornstache now.
That's why her mom says she knows how to get him in.
That's right.
That's true. That's because she draws those cartoons and everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a way to man's heart right there.
That's a man's heart. Right. Well, I'm Thaddeus, and where can we find you guys? Until next time.
Me? Oh.
Yeah, you.
I thought we would start from that side.
Doesn't matter.
We'll go counterclockwise or clockwise.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at RealMcKay.
And you can always find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream. And don't forget to go to serialbuddies.com and download Adventures of Serial Buddies because it helps us here at AfterBuzz TV.
Keeps these beautiful lights on and the air going in this hot summer. And it's $4.99 to rent, $5.99 only, $1 more to own.
That's right.
And you can find me on Twitter at SMan80. That's SMAN80.
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Club Thaddeus, CLUBTHADDEUS. Until next time, After Buzzers.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.